The Google August 2025 spam update has completed. It took 27 days for it to complete, and I'll give you all the details you need to know about this update. What you'll learn in this video is what the Google August 2025 spam update is all about, maybe why it took so long for it to update, what Google said and did not say about this update, what the third-party tracking tools showed or did not show, and can you recover from a Google spam update? So stay tuned, subscribe so you don't miss these videos in the future. So the August 2025 spam update from Google was released on August 26, 2025 at around noon. Google specifically announced this as a broad spam update, did not give any more details about what this update was targeting outside of just linking to their normal spam documentation. Now that the update is complete, and it took about 26 and a half days or so to be officially marked as completed, we know how significant this update was. In fact, this update felt as significant as the December 2024 spam update. The major difference is that December spam update took only 7 days to roll out, whereas this update took 20 additional days to roll out, 27 days. Google confirmed that this update has finished rolling out on September 22nd at 2 a.m. Eastern Time. The weird thing is that Google's John Mueller said the day before that we'll probably mark this as complete tomorrow. So Google already knew that they'll mark it complete a day earlier. So let's share some quick facts about this Google August 2025 spam update. Yes, it's named the Google August 2025 spam update. I miss the old days of naming them Panda, Penguin, Florida, or other names that were cute. Again, it started August 26th, finished September 22nd. It took just under 27 days to complete. This was a global update affecting all languages and all regions. And a lot of people think this might be related to link spam. I don't think so. Google has their own link spam update, and when they do link spam updates, they actually announce those as well. So a lot of people are asking, why did this spam update take so long to update? Why did it take so long to roll out? 27 days? Previous spam updates, some of them were like a day or two, maybe a week, maybe 14 days, 2 weeks, but to almost take a month seems very unusual for a spam update. Truth is, we don't know. It felt like when the update actually was released, it felt very, very significant, literally within 24 hours of the update being released on August 26th. Then we felt a little bit more heated stuff, maybe a couple weeks later, September 9th or so. And then we had all hell break loose with the tools, which we'll go into a little bit later. Sometimes when it comes to spam updates or any kind of algorithm update, it just takes a while for these to roll out. And honestly, none of these updates are probably fully done when Google announces them as being done. In my opinion, when Google releases many of these algorithm updates, they affect those pages on a URL by URL basis. And Google has to reprocess each URL for them to be affected. So while maybe your main pages might be affected sooner, the pages that get the most traffic might be affected sooner because those are more popular and Google crawls them and reprocesses those pages faster than other pages on your website. Maybe some of your unpopular, more deeper pages on your website get crawled much less often. And because of that, it doesn't get affected until that processing takes place. Which is why algorithm updates don't really have an official completion time outside of what Google estimates to be the completion time on their website. But those are not the exact time the update completes because, honestly, the update's constantly running until all URLs are processed. So Google really didn't say much about this update. On the announcement, when it actually was released on August 26th, they said, release the August 2025 spam update, which applies globally to all languages. The rollout may take a few weeks to complete. And then at 2:14 a.m. Eastern this morning, September 22nd, Google said the rollout was complete as of September 22nd, 2025. That was it. That's all that really Google said. And then yesterday, on Sunday, John Mueller responded to a comment deep inside LinkedIn on a Glenn Gabe's post that said, what will you do when this update's complete? Or he said, what will you do when it's complete? Then a bunch of people commented, and then he basically said, responding to somebody in a humorous way, just between us, we'll probably mark it completed tomorrow. Time to warm up your fingers for the inevitable reporting. So obviously John Mueller knew the update is pretty much complete enough to actually go ahead and mark it as complete the next day. And that's what he did. About 2 o'clock in the morning Eastern, he's in Zurich, so a little bit like first thing in the morning at their time. Early on, like I said, the search tools showed a significant volatility, literally within 24 to 48 hours of the update. So we started to report actually on August 27th, the day after, that there was a lot of SEO chatter in the SEO world, plus the tools themselves were noticing a significant amount of volatility, meaning the spam update had a big impact right away. And then it kind of calmed down for a little bit, and then we saw another spike around September 9th or so, maybe September 8th, where the tool showed significant volatility, most of them, not all of them, And there was a significant amount of chatter again. But tracking it after that September 9th date was really, really hard because Google made a change to their search results pages, which impacted not just the third-party tracking tools, but also impacted Search Console, Google's official tracking tool that SEOs depend on. Google removed the ability for third-party tools to use a num equals 100 parameter in the URL to show 100 results per page, which is what these tools use to go ahead and give ranking data to SEOs and to website owners. With that being removed, a lot of the third-party tool trackers weren't able to track properly, and the volatility tools that they use, that they share with us, were completely messed up. Now, thankfully, these tools are adjusting to just looking at the first 20 or so results, and they're adjusting those parameters so we can actually check the volatility going forward for the top 10, 20 results going forward. But it had a major impact on what we were tracking from September 10th, probably throughout the end of this update, September 22nd. So if you were using third-party tools to track how you were being impacted by this update or any other updates or making changes to your own website between September 11th or so, September 10th maybe, and the end of this update, maybe this week, September 22nd, it was really, really hard to tell what was going on with the Google search results because third-party tools were impacted. Then you can say, why don't I just look at Search Console? Because Search Console is not impacted by the num parameter. But yes, it was, because it was actually messing up data in Search Console. All these third-party tools and scrapers, maybe AI scrapers and regular scrapers or personal scrapers, were actually going ahead and using the num parameter to get data. And that was injecting fake queries from non-humans, fake impression data from non-humans, and impacting a lot of people's results, a lot of people's data in Search Console. In fact, there was some studies said that, 25% of the impressions dropped for most people. That's a significant drop in impressions. So it makes it really, really hard to track the tail end of this update. So how do you know if you were impacted by this update? Again, if you noticed an impact within the first 48 hours after the spam update was announced. So if you noticed on August 26th, 27th, or 28th that you saw significant volatility and ranking changes in Search Console or in third-party tools for your website around that date, those first 3 days, then you were probably impacted by the spam update. After that, it's a little bit hard. I wouldn't worry too much about the data after that. So I would look at those first 3 days, and if you were impacted, you probably were impacted by this spam update. That's how you know. So how do you recover from a spam update? Well, you can read their documentation. It says don't spam. What are their spam guidelines? Again, they're all really written out on their own documentation, and make sure you're not doing any of that. Truth is, with this update, it seemed like a lot of websites that were larger and probably were not spamming that visibly were actually impacted by this update. Google specifically says in their documentation, look at their spam policies. Sites that violate their policies may rank lower in results or do not appear at all in the results. Making changes may help the site improve if our automated systems learn over a period of months that the site complies with our spam policies. I mean, their spam policies cover a lot of different things, but it could take you months and months to actually go ahead and see a ranking improvement after you were hit by a spam update. This includes cloaking, doorway abuse, expired domains, hack content, hidden text and link abuse, keyword stuffing. This was probably not link related, but there is link spam in there, but this was probably not a link spam update because Google has their own link spam updates. Machine-generated content, malware, malicious practices, misleading functionalities, scaled content abuse, scraping, site reputation abuse, sneaky redirects, thin affiliate content, user-generated spam, and other legal reasons to remove that content. So again, if you go ahead and update your site to remove any of those spammy types of practices, within a few months, hopefully, you'll recover. Google does these spam updates fairly often for a Google update. In fact, maybe a couple times a year, which is pretty often for Google to announce these things. We had, I think, 4 spam updates in 2021, including 1 link spam update. We had 2 spam updates in 2022, including 1 link spam update. We had only one spam update in 2023, which is just a spam update. We had 3 spam updates in 2024, and they were just spam updates, not link updates. And now we had our first spam update in 2025. So there are chances to recover when the new spam update comes out. So definitely go ahead and work on improvements. In any event, hope you guys fared well with this update. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss future videos on Google updates and other SEO topics.